Jeff Shee and FOSUN, get out of this club. What an absolutely ridiculous game of football. Now, first of all, I want to start by speaking about the protests and before the game, really, to be honest. So, ultimately, I thought it was brilliant, to be honest, to see so many passionate fans turning up and letting their feelings known about the current state of the ownership, what's going on the pitch, and generally how this club has been ran for the last 5 years. I absolutely respect every single person that has done it. I do have my reservations and sort of frustrations, really, with regards to the fans, that the happy clappers that were in the ground and were so, don't get me wrong, supporting the team, absolutely understand that. But the ground was far too busy, in my personal opinion, for those opening 15 minutes to make a real stand significant enough to show what this club means to these fans and what those owners are doing to these fans and this fan base and this wonderful club. Without Wolverhampton Wanderers, there probably would be no European Cup in the format that it currently is. Without Wolverhampton Wanderers, there would be no English football, one of the founding fathers of the bloody football in this country. And generally, a club with so much rich history and a club that has meant so much to so many people, and you've still got these owners and that chairman, more importantly, Jeff Shee, completely running it into disarray and into the ground. And let's be honest, we've seen some incredible moments over the years. I've been fortunate enough to be at a lot of the games. You think of the games against Manchester United being some of the highlights, the European games, absolutely unbelievable. Some of the Arsenal games that I've been to as well over the years. And there's so many incredible moments I've got from going to the Molineux, and so many of you have got hundreds of games, thousands of games, some of you as well, ever since you were so young, and you've given your all to this fan base, to this club, and the club are giving you absolutely nothing back for what you're putting in. The money that Wolves fans are paying at the moment to watch that is quite frankly disgraceful. Now, let's get into the game itself. The first half, I thought it was okay. I thought it was a lot of fight in the first half. Obviously, they go 1-0 down and you think, well, game over. And let's be honest, I think that's been the case all season. If Wolves go 1-0 down, you like to think, generally, the game ends there and that's it. And it's a write-off, to be quite honest. But they did fight. They kept fighting. I thought David Muller-Wolfer played okay in the first half. And generally, I was impressed with the performance in terms of what I was seeing on the pitch. I think certain aspects were very poor. Now, I think Johnston's very, very poor for the goal, but Andre, oh God, it's abysmal. And I defend Andre a lot. I really do, because I think he's a brilliant footballer. But that pass, to play the ball back there, obviously he's limited on options where to play the ball, but to play it back there, just smash it up and get it away if in doubt. I know the ball was always going in the air, but just get rid of it and passes it straight to Cunha. Cunha with one of the worst attempted passes I think I've ever seen, and a calamitous error from everyone really involved, and it was just a dreadful goal to concede, and something that, let's be honest, started Wolves off on the wrong foot. And then I think Bellegarde grew into the game. I think last 15 minutes of that first half, I thought Jean-Luc Bellegarde covered himself in glory. I thought he was brilliant. I thought his intensity was great, really nice turns, touches, forward passes, which is something we haven't seen for bloody ages, to be honest. And generally, I thought he was really impressive. I think when you look at performances, he's the one that you can take a positive from, but equally, as I say, he comes off injured, so sums up Wolves' season, really. Wolves' luck, to be quite honest, and it's a frustrating one to take. But generally, going in at 1-1, I thought, do you know what? A 1-1 draw, yes, it's only a point, and Wolves need more than that right now, but I thought 1-1 would be a decent result, given the fact that, no one really gave Wolves a chance to win this game, if we're being completely honest. Most Wolves fans didn't. I know a lot of you guys in the comments wouldn't as well. And let me know what you thought about the game in the comments as well, because your opinions are more important than mine, definitely. And I always love interacting with you guys, and the support on the channel has been incredible recently. We're 12 subscribers away from 3,000 subscribers, so I'd really appreciate that. Anyway, I think in terms of the second half, though, it's poor, isn't it? Obviously starts with the whole team overcommitting, an attack led by Jean-Luc Bellegarde. The team overcommit, the ball breaks, and then ultimately Brian Mbeumo goes and scores. And then the goal after that, great ball, a great ball in to Mason Mount, who takes it, really nice finish, but Wolves are far too deep, almost camped in their own box, playing everyone on side. Mason Mount ghosts in, just scores a really really nice volley, to be honest. And Mason Mount had a relatively decent game. And when you're making Mason Mount look good at football in 2025, that's a big problem. But Bruno Fernandes, I thought he just ran the game, and a player that I just cannot stand. But, 2 goals. I think he may have even got both assists, potentially. But generally, yeah, he ran the game tonight. And I think Wolves are in serious trouble if we didn't know it already. But Rob Edwards hasn't got a magic wand. Now, Wolves should prepare for the Championship, in my personal opinion. I haven't said it up until this point in terms of preparing for the Championship. I've always had a bit of hope, but it seems the most impossible task you could possibly ask for. I think when you look at some of the players that came on, some of the players that played, I thought Agbadu was actually okay in the first half. Second half, I thought he was poor. I thought Mosquera was very, very poor. Obviously gets booked as well. I thought Keanu Herver actually played okay, but again, one of his mistakes, you could argue, leads to one of the goals. And Andre, for me, was fine. Krejci in midfield was pretty non-existent. Muller Wolfer, I thought he was okay in the first half. Great assist for Bellegarde, but does Bellegarde make... I think Bellegarde makes something out of a pretty nothing ball, to be honest with you. And then Jean Arias, for me, I'm running out of words. The level of performance from him, it's inexcusable. How he's getting into this team week in, week out is mental. Now, of course, we did see some Fer Lopez minutes for Jean-Rick Bellegarde getting injured. Again, pretty nothing. Strand Larsen, for me, we will speak about him in a second, but John Arias, for me, let's focus on him first. You would have thought he was doing the protest. Someone's not told him that he needs to come and play football for some reason. The touches, some of the touches are so bad. I mean, his ability to run in behind was not there. His ability to link play wasn't there. His ability to keep the ball wasn't there. To run at a man, to try and beat a man, to make something happen wasn't there. To link with Strand Larsen, to link with, David Muller-Wolfer on that left-hand side, just generally wasn't there at all. And John Arias, for me, it genuinely is one of the most dreadful signings I've ever seen in a Wolves shirt. He just looks miles off the pace, miles off the intensity, miles off the level, quite frankly. And a player that's 28, going on 29, I just don't get it. I get players struggle to adapt to the league, I really do. But John Arias, I expected so much more for a player of his age, a player of the calibre of the sort of stature he has in the gravitas he has in the game, really, over in Brazil. But he's just come over and looked absolutely dreadful. And Jørgen Strand Larsen, he looks fuming when he comes off because he's, getting shit from fans, to be honest. And, I don't swear much on this channel, but it's getting very frustrating now. He comes off, looks fuming. You've got absolutely nothing to be fuming about, mate. Whatever happens this season, you're leaving. So you've got nothing to be fuming about. Your performances have been miles off the mark. And I've defended Strand Larsen for a long time, giving him a lot of benefit of the doubt. I really have. But, his linking play, dreadful. First touch is terrible. Decision-making, awful. Getting that yellow card against Aidan Heaven is just petulant and stupid. And quite frankly, he has been miles off it all season. 13 appearances this season in the league. 1 goal. It's just dreadful. And quite frankly, a player that's got nothing to be fuming about because no matter what happens, he won't be here next season. And then you look at his replacement, Tola Rokadara, comes on. Rob Edwards has made it very clear that he's unfit. He looks unfit. He looks like me running around out there. He looks like he's an absolute tank. He's just walking. I don't think I've ever seen the bloke sprint. He can't seem to bring a ball down. He can't seem to link play. He can't seem to offer any some sort of form of creativity, and that just sums up where Wolves are at the minute. I think Rob Edwards, he's got to get results soon, but ultimately, I think they'll stick with him regardless, and they should stick with him regardless, because this Wolves side, the damage that Domenico Tetti and Vitor Pereira and Jeffrey Shea have done in this summer, quite frankly, is irreversible, and there's not one man on this planet that can keep Wolves in this division, and Rob Edwards certainly can't, and he's a manager that I really do feel sorry for, but I know that if they go down, I'd be very confident that he would get it right and get Wolves back to where they belong. But again, as I say, breaking that cycle of not being a yo-yo club is almost impossible. The positives of if Wolves go down are the fact that, yes, they probably will come straight back up, and the fact that hopefully the owners sell, because FOSUN, you have ruined this football club. Jeff Shee, you should be removed from your position with immediate effect. You should not be anywhere near this club. The decisions you've made, the negligence you've shown towards this club and this fan base, and the way that you've treated every manager, every player that's come into this club, really, and every single fan that pays your wages for the last 5 or 6 years. Quite frankly, you've laughed in their face and you're an absolute disgrace. And I'm telling you now, if anyone wants to speak about Wolverhampton Wanderers as a club and people don't get it, people might not get it from the outside, why Wolves are so frustrated, do your research, because it's an absolute disgrace what they've done to this club. Constantly selling the best players every single season without fail, to the point where they've barely got a footballer on the pitch that can kick a ball these days. It's quite frankly an embarrassment and an absolute disgrace. Now, I've seen a lot of different creators taking different approaches. I know Harry Mansell, a lad I get on very well with, and someone that I really respect in the game. You know, he's very open and honest about what he feels about the owners and the club and how he sees it. But a few fans and some fellow creators as well at points, I think, have come out and been quite reluctant to get involved. But the fact that all the fan channels that have got involved have supported the protest, I really do respect it. Some, for me, have been a bit, shying away from it because of their ties to the club or whatever it may be. But you will not get that on this channel. I will not stop until, hopefully, your fans' voices are heard, because it's so frustrating now watching what's going on this pitch because of these owners and that chairman. That's quite frankly an absolute disgrace to not just the football club, but to humanity, to be honest. It is an absolutely worthless piece of, it is a disgrace. Now, if you did enjoy this video, as much as it is a rant, I'm completely stand with all of you who've done that protest today, and I really respect every single one of you who was there. Everyone who didn't do it, you've lost a little bit of respect for me, but at the end of the day, no one really cares what I think. I hope some of you do who watch these videos. Thank you very much for watching the video. Like I say, we're very close to 3,000 subscribers now, so if you could subscribe, we're 12 subscribers away. I'd very much appreciate that. Thank you for all the support on the channel recently. The videos will be back now consistently. I haven't had a few weeks of sort of up and down and a few difficult moments, but thank you all for watching. I really do appreciate your support. These owners and that chairman need to get out immediately, and I'll see you all in the next one.